Do you want to live longer, sleep better, be less stressed, and perform and be more productive at work? Well, then you need a vacation. If you've watched other videos on my channel, you'll know that these are all about people at work and talent matters. So I thought that this week we'll talk about one of the best ways to help people at work and organizations, which is by people not being at work. Last week, I went on my first vacation in over 5 years in which I didn't work pretty much every day. It was fantastic. I had a great time with my niece Carly as we ran around Europe. If you're curious, I actually made a video last week all about GDPR, so check that out. I'll link it below. So this week, I want to talk about why vacation is important to you and how vacations help companies perform better. Let's start with some of the really interesting research about vacations. Vacations have been shown in multiple studies put out by the American Psychological Association to reduce stress, and that those effects last even longer than the vacation. There was this study in the 90s called the Framingham study that really looked at heart disease across all different factors, and it found that men who didn't take vacation were actually 30% more likely to suffer a cardiac complication or disease. And even more scary is that the number for women who didn't take vacation was almost 50% higher than those who did. And this was after controlling for other factors like smoking or obesity or poor health. This is a pretty scary statistic. So the next time you're debating whether to take a vacation or not, do your heart a favor. Just take it. Vacations and breaks away can actually improve your productivity and your performance. There was this interesting survey and study done by the consulting firm EY, where they found that for every extra 10 hours of vacation time that an employee took, they had an 8% higher rating on their end-of-year performance review, indicating that those who took vacation actually performed better. They also found that their vacationers were less likely to quit and had higher retention. All really exciting outcomes for both the employee looking to perform better and the organization looking to have a happier, more productive workforce. Some other interesting benefits that organizations might be able to get from employees taking vacation. So one is just the cross-training effect. When individuals take vacation, it gives the organization opportunity to identify gaps in knowledge. For example, if there's only one person who knows how to do something, them taking vacation can be one of the best ways to indicate that others need to be cross-trained. And by them going out of the office, it gives the opportunity to cross-train someone else to take on that work for a little while and build the skill in the organization. It's also a fantastic opportunity for leadership development. When leaders take vacation, it gives other members of the team to step into that decision-making role and lead. And that can be one of the best ways for people to really take steps towards developing themselves as a leader and growing. There's been a couple anecdotes around employees who were committing fraud that quite frankly were caught because they were forced to take a mandatory vacation and they could no longer cook the books, skim off the top when someone else came in to take over that work or they weren't there to put in the transactions. So that might be a bit of the darker side of why organizations should want vacation. Did you know that in the US, there is no mandatory requirement that companies provide employees paid time off? In fact, a quarter of all Americans have no paid time off from work at all. And of those who do, the average is about 10 days. Even worse, more than half of people who are lucky enough to have paid time off do not use all of their paid vacation in America. And 1 in 4 of the few people who do take the vacation days don't disconnect from their work. In fact, the number is even worse when it comes to senior leaders who routinely don't take any, or if so, only minor amounts of time off. This is pretty stark when you compare it to other places around the world. For example, across Europe, in Australia, New Zealand, the number of paid days off is in the mid to high 20s and doesn't even include all of the holidays that these employees also get off. And there are even cool practices in places like Japan and China where they have something called golden weeks, where the entire country is actually taking a week off. I find this amazing. I can't imagine how an entire nation of people might simultaneously be reaping the benefits of stress reduction all at once. These vacation usage stats are coming out of a really great study done by the US Travel Association. And in fact, they actually analyze some of the US areas that are the worst at vacationing. Scary for me is that 2 of the top 5 places happen to be the San Francisco Bay Area, where I currently am right now, and the Boston area, where the company that I work for is headquartered. In case you're curious, some of the other locations are Washington, D.C., Tampa, and LA. So if you're there, maybe check your vacation culture and maybe try to work against it. I know I am completely guilty of avoiding vacations because I'm worried that there'll be too much work when I get back, that people will need me, that things won't run while I'm gone, that I'll miss very important events, and that I'll feel guilty for my team or my peers or my colleagues. And quite frankly, I need to get over that. I am lucky enough to have an amazing team. I have people who can step up and do these. They're smart, they're talented. I know that they have my back just like I will have theirs when they want to go on vacation. And I think we need to remind ourselves that it's okay to step away and that this is important, that we owe it to ourselves for our health. We owe it to our families and loved ones. We owe it to our bosses, our peers, our teams, and our organization to be the most productive that we can. And this is one really easy way to do it. So if I can urge you to do anything, it's please go plan your next vacation, enjoy it thoroughly, unplug, and just let yourself refresh, be excited, come back, you'll be a more productive, higher performing employee, and maybe you'll have some good stories to tell from your vacation, or do a staycation, stay on your couch, enjoy your own hometown. Just make sure that you take time, that you refresh, do your heart a favor, do your stress levels a favor, and enjoy your vacation. Thanks so much for joining my video. I'll put another one out next week. I know I had a viewer from last week ask why they weren't getting notifications, and I looked it up. Not only do you have to hit the subscribe button, but there's a little bell that pops up after you hit subscribe. Go ahead, tap that, and apparently it will send you a notification. So I hope to see you next week on the next video, and go on vacation.